Namaste, and what's up, guys? Welcome to Mystery Vault, so without wasting any time, let's jump right in. Year 2257, somewhere in the universe, there was this super beautiful planet. This planet was called New World, but this paradise-looking world was actually a bloody battlefield once when humans from Earth came down here to settle their new colony. They encountered the real and terrifying natives of this planet who were called Spackles. A brutal war broke out between humans and these native aliens over the land, and the outcome was extremely painful. It's said that to take revenge on humans, the Spackles released a virus called the Noisa Curse that exposed every single thought in men's minds to the world. The result was that no one could lie to anyone anymore, because whatever a man thought, that thought wouldn't just be heard by others in his own voice, but it would also appear around his head like some mysterious energy. But the destruction didn't stop there after this war. All the women in the settlement mysteriously died now. On this planet, only men drowned in noise were left, who believed that the killer of their women was those same aliens. Behind this screaming noise, there was a dark truth hidden that was about to change the entire fate of this planet. Friends, if you love these kinds of epic sci-fi movies, then you've come to the absolutely right place for more explosive explanations like this. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, so let's not waste any more time and jump straight into the video. In the deserted and dense jungle of this very planet, a boy was slowly moving forward with his dog. Manchi, this boy's name was Todd. Whatever Todd thought, it didn't stay in his mind, but it turned into an echoing voice spreading all over the jungle, like the echo of his thoughts bouncing off every tree and every leaf. Then, from the other side of the jungle, a rider appears. Todd thinks to himself, what is this preacher doing here? There's no church anyone even goes to, but this thought also turns into sound and comes out. And the preacher, whose name was Aaron, hears everything. Actually, Aaron considered this noise a gift from God. Todd starts thinking random useless thoughts to hide his real ones, so the truth gets buried, but Aaron gets angry and punches him hard, music. And while leaving says, don't hide your thoughts a little later. Todd reaches his settlement, Prentice Town, where a boy named Davy was teasing him. Todd, in anger, creates a terrifying snake image in his thoughts. And that noise spreads right in front of Davy, scaring him badly. Then the mayor of this town, David, arrives, who is Davy's father. David praises Todd and says that scaring people with thoughts is an art and you have that talent inside you. Hearing this, Todd feels happy deep inside. Todd was actually an orphan, and Cillian and Ben had raised him like fathers since childhood, even while eating. Todd keeps thinking about Mayor David's praise. His two fathers explain to him the mayor is not your friend, stay away from him, he's not a good man. Cillian and Todd start arguing in their thoughts, but Ben calms both down a little later. The story takes us into Todd's past, where a small child is shown who is none other than Todd himself. This was that terrifying day when his mother was killed, and on the same day Mayor David gave him a knife as a gift. His memory is still alive in Todd's mind today. On the other side, in the endless silence of space, there was chaos. A massive spaceship was sending a capsule speeding toward this very planet. These were from Earth, the next wave of settlers about to start a new life on this new planet. Inside this capsule was Viola. As soon as the capsule entered the planet's atmosphere, a mysterious energy spread throughout the capsule. This was the same power that made people's thoughts turn into sound. Now this energy started affecting the people inside the capsule too. Noise of thoughts spread everywhere and panic broke out. The capsule's captain falls from his seat, and the capsule loses control badly. In just moments, the capsule tears through the atmosphere and crashes horribly on the planet. Meanwhile, Todd was working in the fields. Then his eyes fall on a stranger who is stealing stuff and running away. Todd immediately runs after him, and while chasing, reaches the exact spot where the capsule crashed near the capsule. There were graves of 4 people. Todd gets scared and runs to tell everything to Mayor. David arrives at the crash site with his men right away and asks Todd, what did that person look like? Todd says he didn't see the face, but no noise was coming from him. He was completely silent hearing this. David realizes it's a girl and immediately orders his men to find that girl. Hearing the word girl, Todd gets shocked and excited because he had never seen a girl in his life. Then David's men spot the girl and start chasing her. David, who could completely control his thoughts, uses his mind to create an illusion, trapping the girl. But it was just a trick. Actually, the girl was Viola, who was the only survivor of the crash. David tells her, Don't be afraid, you're safe. I'm the mayor here. A little later, everyone returns to town where David explains to Viola. When we came to this planet, our thoughts mysteriously started echoing as sound. But some people like me can control their thoughts. Viola asks, "Can you read my thoughts?" David answers no, it didn't affect women. He further says that some time ago there was a terrible war here against the native aliens of the planet, who took over us and killed all the women. David asks Viola, "Why did you come here?" But Viola stays silent. Then David says sternly, "You'll have to answer because girls' thoughts can't be heard." Viola finally tells the truth, that they were sent here on an investigation mission because contact suddenly broke with the first settlers from Earth on this planet. She further says that right now in space, Earth's largest spaceship ever is present. Surveying the situation, hearing this, a spark appears in David's eyes, and he immediately asks, "Where is that ship going to land?" But Viola senses his intentions and instead asks back, "Why do you want to know all this?" Viola's words make David's face harden. He leaves without saying anything, and while going instructs his son, Davy, strictly don't let anyone else inside the cabin. As soon as David leaves, Davy, out of curiosity, starts rummaging through Viola's stuff in the cabin. Viola warns him again and again, back off, but Davy doesn't listen. Then, suddenly, a massive explosion happens, and small blasts start going off everywhere in the cabin. Chaos breaks out, and taking advantage of this mess, Viola escapes from there. As soon as out, he immediately orders his men to find the girl, but in the next scene, it's clear that Viola hadn't run far, but was hiding under the same cabin above David, and Preacher Aaron's conversation was reaching her ears. And here, David's biggest secret comes out. David was telling Aaron from talking to the girl, "I found out that very soon a massive spaceship is going to land on this planet, and if we capture that ship, we can rule the entire planet." Hearing this, Viola's senses blow. Actually, David was just the mayor of a small town, and he dreamed of ruling all the towns on this planet after everyone leaves. Todd enters the cabin, picks up Viola's bag, and quietly takes it to his home. But as soon as he turns, he sees scared Viola in the corner. Todd helps her, saying, "Stay hidden. Here, they're searching for you outside." Then outside, one of David's men reaches Todd's house, searching for Viola. Todd tries with all his strength to control his thoughts, because he was afraid that if he accidentally thought about the girl, everyone would know the truth. He clearly tells the man there's no girl here and sends him back. As soon as the man leaves Killian, and Ben asks Todd, "Is the girl hiding inside?" Todd takes both inside. Ben encourages Viola, saying, "Don't worry, stay here," and saying this, the three go outside music. But Viola's fear increases even more. She tries somehow to start an old motorcycle standing there. Meanwhile, Todd clearly tells his two father-like brothers he won't hand this girl over to Mayor David. After much thinking, Killian and Ben pull out a map and say, "There's a place far from here called Far Branch. If you want to save the girl, you have to leave now." While leaving, Ben gives Todd a final warning when you reach there. Don't tell anyone which town you're from, otherwise you'll be in big trouble. But before they can leave, David arrives there with his men. David pressures Todd. Todd tries everything to keep nothing in his mind, but then an image of the cabin flashes in his thoughts. And seeing the cabin image, David understands. He immediately starts heading that way with his men. As soon as the door opens, Viola speeds out. His men are about to shoot, when Todd jumps on them to save Todd's life. Cillian picks up his gun and fires at David's men, but in that moment, David's son Davy shoots Cillian. Now things had completely gone bad. A high-speed chase begins. Todd was racing his horse and Viola was escaping on the motorcycle, saving her life, bullets raining from behind. Then suddenly a deep cliff appears in front and both fall straight into it. Somehow both survive, but Todd's innocent horse's leg was badly broken and it was crying in pain with a heavy heart. Todd frees it from that pain forever, but Viola still couldn't fully trust him. Todd shows her the map to Far Branch and slowly tries to explain. Finally, Viola says she has to contact that spaceship so she can warn them in time, because if David captures that ship, every human coming to this planet will be ruined. Thinking this, Viola finally trusts Todd and both head deeper into the dense jungle on the other side. David angrily asks Ben, "Where did Todd and the girl run?" Ben, crying, can only say, "Don't do anything to Todd." David coldly says, "I have no issue with Todd. I just want the truth about that spaceship from the girl, which is landing very soon on this planet. And then he tells Ben, just tell me which direction they're going. Ben tries with all strength to stop his thoughts, but can't control the noise, and in that moment, Farbranch's location leaks from his mind to David without wasting a second. Leaves armed with his men like going to war. Meanwhile, Todd and Viola had gone very far from human settlements. Strange sounds coming from all sides in the jungle. Like the spackles, the native aliens of this planet had their eyes on them. Both reach the edge of a lake. Todd hunts a dangerous creature living in the lake for food and catches it with great difficulty. But he can't light a fire. Then Viola lights a fire in seconds with her advanced gadget. Seeing this, Todd is amazed. Both sit there, eating food and resting for a while during this. Viola tells the truth about her life, that she didn't come from Earth, but was born on the spaceship itself, because it takes 64 years to reach here from Earth. Her grandparents left Earth, then her parents were born on the same ship, and later, that became her world hearing. Todd gets even more shocked after this. Both start their journey again, while David keeps chasing them from behind with his men a little distance away. Todd senses a strange noise rising in the jungle and tells Viola, this is the Spackles noise, the aliens of this planet, and the ones he was told killed all the women in their town soon. The weather completely changes. Darkness falls even in daytime with strong winds. Heavy rain starts pouring. Viola feels rain for the first time and says this experience is incredibly beautiful. She says her parents got sick and died on the spaceship. They wanted her to come to this planet and live a better life. After the rain stops, both move forward again, but suddenly, a spackle settlement appears in front of them. Todd immediately starts running away with Viola and his dog, then in the lake. He sees a spackle. Both hide in the bushes, but Todd's thoughts start coming out as noise. He tries everything to stay quiet, but then that spackle grabs Todd and starts dragging him into the jungle. Todd, in fear, fights back and badly injures it with his knife and is about to kill it when Viola screams and stops him. Todd stops and the spackle leaves. From there, Todd angrily says he was saving Viola's life because Mayor David told him these same spackles killed all the women in their town and they're extremely dangerous. But Viola seriously asked, why do you trust David so much? Maybe he lied and the reason for the women's deaths was something else. This question leaves a deep crack in Todd's mind for the first time. Talking and talking, Todd and Viola finally reach their destination, Farbranch. But this place felt strangely deserted, opposite to their expectations, and chickens were visible all around. But almost no humans. Like an entire settlement was suddenly emptied then from a nearby warehouse. A boy comes out and takes both to Farbranch's mayor, Hildy. Reaching here, Todd gets even more shocked because this town's mayor was a woman, and not just her, many women were present here. Todd's mind immediately raises a question. If spackles were so dangerous, then how are the women in this town alive? Hildy asks, where did you come from? Todd tries with all strength not to even think the name of his town because while leaving, Ben had clearly warned him. If by mistake it gets known in Farbranch that you're from Prentice Town, your life will be in danger. But in that moment, Viola, without hesitation, tells the truth, that they're from Prentice Town. Hearing this name, the atmosphere completely changes, and the people standing there shockingly look at Todd. In just moments, Todd's hands are tied, and angry people say any man from Prentice Town who came here never went back alive. Things get so bad that they're about to kill Todd. But then Hildy comes in between, stops everyone, and clearly says that Todd and Viola will stay under her watch. No one will harm them. A little later, Viola tells Hildy that there's a massive ship in space, and she needs to contact it to tell the truth here. No technology is used in Farbranch, and they have no means of contact. Viola explains that she and her team came here only for investigation to decide if this place is safe for 4,000 new settlers or not now. She clearly understood that if she doesn't warn in time, the ship will turn back thinking this planet dangerous and she'll be stuck here forever. She didn't want to spend her life on this planet. Then Hildy says there's another town far from here called Haven, and from there, contact with the spaceship can be made. Hildy sends both to rest in separate rooms. Todd was extremely restless because he didn't want Viola to leave him and go. He had realized that he was slowly getting attached to her, unable to sleep. He takes his mother's old diary to Viola's room and says he has never read this diary till today. Viola surprisingly asks, why didn't you read your mother's diary? Todd, in a broken voice, says he doesn't know how to read and write because in childhood, Preacher Aaron burned all the books in town. Viola takes the diary from him and says she'll read it to him. Viola starts reading the diary in which it was written. My dear, Todd, you look exactly like your father. I wish he was alive today and could see you after this. She reads, there's a man, David Prentice, who is the mayor of our town, and he's extremely cruel and sinful inside. Aaron convinced him that women's thoughts aren't heard because they're impure. David used this excuse to lock the town's women in homes and tortured them while reading this. Viola stops and music silence falls in the room. In that moment, Todd understands David's real truth. The man he considered his protector and hero was actually a merciless killer, who, with Aaron and his men, killed all the women in town and then spread the lie that Spackles killed them. Knowing this truth, Todd completely down. He was still processing this betrayal when suddenly sirens echo throughout Farbranch. Entered the town with his armed men. He sternly asks Hildy where is Todd. Hildy calmly but strongly says, if you have the gut in my mind and see hearing this, David gets furious because he knew women's thoughts can't be read. Hildy clearly says she won't hand over any girl to him and he should leave Farbranch immediately. David angrily shouts, very soon a massive spaceship is landing and those people will steal our land and farms. So no matter what, he'll capture that ship. Then a man in the crowd calls David a liar. And in that moment, one of David's men brutally shoots him on the other side. Todd and Viola were running at full speed. But then Aaron spots them and both somehow hide in an old warehouse, saving their lives. But things had gotten so bad that now they were surrounded from all sides because David had arrived there with his men and Ben was also with him. David sternly tells Ben, convince your son Todd we won't harm him. We only want the girl. Ben quietly goes inside the warehouse where Todd, in a broken state, asks him, did David and his men kill my mother and the other women? And did you know this all along? Did you lie to me my whole life? Ben, with a heavy heart, can only say he was only trying to save him. Outside, David's men impatiently surround the warehouse. Then Ben comes out with Viola. Seeing this, relief appears on David's face. But in the next moment, everyone's senses blow because it wasn't the real Viola, but an illusion from Ben's thoughts. Meanwhile, Todd and Viola had escaped far into the jungle. But Aaron spots them again and starts chasing them with full force. Reaching the river, Viola panics, saying she doesn't know how to swim. Todd tries to cross the river in a boat with her and his dog Manchi, but then Aaron grabs Viola's leg. The river current had become extremely strong. The boat, on one side, Manchi starts drifting in the water, and on the other, Viola starts drowning. Todd somehow saves Viola, but in that moment, that monster Aaron grabs innocent Manchi and brutally drowns him in the water, killing him. And Todd helplessly watches it all. Todd was now completely broken, both move forward and musical of the jungle. A tall tower appears. Both climb up, but Manchi's image wouldn't leave Todd's thoughts. Viola explains to him that she loved Manchi a lot too, and he was such a cute dog after a while. Both head toward Haven through the jungle again, where Viola wanted to contact the ship in space. After going far, they see a massive but ruined spaceship. Viola warns Todd that they're standing on the roof of that very ship right now, and below there are many floors. Deep falling means instant death. Todd says maybe his family came to this planet on this same ship. Still looking at the ship when noise energy rising from far becomes visible, and it's clear David is coming their way with his men. Todd says we have to leave quickly. Haven isn't far, but Viola says there's no time left now. Because 2 floors down inside this very ship, there's an emergency transmitter from which we can contact. Both descend into the ship using ropes where everything was badly destroyed, like the ship had been lying there for hundreds of years. After some searching, Viola finds the transmitter, but the antenna was broken, so contact wasn't possible. Todd starts climbing back up to fix the antenna, but climbing up was extremely difficult. Meanwhile, David had arrived there with his men and sees Todd climbing the ship from binoculars and immediately orders to surround the entire area. Todd also sees them coming toward him, and as soon as he connects the antenna, the signal comes. But in that moment, Aaron attacks Viola to save her life, pulls a gadget from her pocket and throws it at him. And in seconds, Aaron gets engulfed in flames and dies outside. Todd comes right in front of David, and David harshly asks him, "Where is the girl?" But Todd doesn't tell anything, Then David attacks Ben right in front of him. Mew injures him seeing this. Todd breaks down and runs to Ben, where Ben secretly slips a knife into his hand and softly says, "Now it's time to face him." In that moment, Todd, with all the pain and anger built up inside him, attacks David with full force. And during this, Viola succeeds in sending the signal to the massive ship in space. David's plan was to capture Viola and send a fake message that everything below is safe. But his entire plan backfires on him. Seeing things worsening, David picks up his gun and attacks Todd. Todd was already injured, but somehow he hides himself. But the noise of his mind's voice David hears and finds him. Todd was already badly injured and now completely weakened. As David moves forward to kill him, then from behind Viola comes and mutes David down. Todd had lost a lot of blood and wasn't even in a state to move then. Clouds in the sky start thundering loudly and a strange energy starts glowing between them. And in that moment, that massive spaceship with 4,000 settlers slowly starts landing on this planet. Sometime later, Todd regains consciousness and finds himself in a completely new place where Viola was also present. Viola tells him that he had been unconscious for many days. Todd asks, "Where are we?" Viola says we're inside that same spaceship when Todd looks out the window below. He sees that the people from the ship have started building a new settlement below, which meant they had decided to stay on this very planet. Viola's smiling. Says she has also changed her mind, and now she wants to spend the rest of her life here. And with this, the story ends here, friends. If you love this mystery, hit that like button. Subscribe to Mystery Vault and turn on notifications for more movie mysteries. See you in the next one.